It's IBC 2023. We're in Hall 7 and we are with Limecraft. I'm joined by Stuart. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So we haven't spoken to Limecraft before.
No.
So let's start with an introduction of what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for.
Yeah, no, with pleasure. So I am getting a little bit of a reputation, I think, for joining companies that nobody's really heard much about and are very well kept secrets. And I think Limecraft is very much in that mold. So the company's been around for about 10 years,
Okay.
Headquartered in Belgium, in Ghent. We're about 50 people, give or take. And basically there are kind of three main segments to what we do. The first part is workflow design and automation. The second part is media asset management, and there's a strong AI component to that, which I think is quite interesting. And the third part is really about content delivery,
Okay.
which is, or certainly can be, a very fragmented and fractured process. Getting content from A to B securely, involving all of the relevant stakeholders who need to be involved in that, managing permissions, managing metadata and things like that. So I think what we're trying to do there is provide a framework for people. A lot of that process traditionally has been a bit manual and a bit ad hoc in terms of the collaboration. So we're just trying to kind of bring a bit more stability, a bit more security, and a bit more structure to that. So,
Okay.
and I was talking this morning to somebody about trends, and I just mentioned the AI component of media asset management. We're doing some very, very clever things with metadata, doing some very, very clever things with the way that assets are being categorized and the way that you can retrieve them. And I think that the main point is those are the three components. Together they form a bit of an ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Apple example, I suppose. You can use one or two components in their own right, but once you start kind of using the whole thing joined together,
Yeah.
it's very seamless. It offers an awful lot of value to customers. And the kind of feedback that we get generally is the savings in time, the savings in money, the efficiency benefits that it brings really are quite notable and really worth having a look at.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a lot of talk about AI right now.
Yes.
But with Limecraft, how are you using it differently, or what's your unique selling point and how you're using it?
Yeah, good question. I think the thing with AI is most people are familiar with generative AI. I think AI has a role to play in the industry, and that role is only going to get bigger, but it has to deliver value. I don't think anyone's interested in AI from the perspective of it being a bit of a gimmick or a toy. There's no point having it just for the sake of having it to say that you've got it. I think it is very much about how it's deployed. And I think with us, we're really able to sit down with producers, with people like editing assistants, for example, and show how it delivers those time savings. Editing assistants are very skilled. They're very rare. They're in demand. They can be quite expensive, I guess, as a resource. So anything that can be done to make their lives easier, to help them work faster and more efficiently, that helps to cut down overall production time.
Yeah.
It just makes such a difference to the way that productions happen, and the overall cost and
Absolutely,
efficiency.
yeah. So who are you working with? Who are your customers?
Sure. So probably for the people watching, I mean, we've worked with a number of different broadcasters and media groups around Europe. It's tended to be the UK, Benelux, and the Netherlands. So we've been working with people like ITV. We do some work with Associated Press, Warner Brothers, although I suppose they're a little bit more US centric. We've also been working with DPG, which is one of the biggest media groups in Flanders.
Okay.
And we have one major German broadcast group that we're just about to announce as a new customer. And we've done a little bit with some of the national broadcasters in the Scandinavian regions as well. So people like Eula and SVT in Sweden. So they're really good customers.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a meeting with SVT earlier on today, and they were talking about the calculations that they've done on the kind of savings that they're getting from using our subtitling solution.
Right, okay.
And again, it's the amount of money is just staggering, just the efficiency that these things bring.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear.
Yeah. And are your services deployed locally on the cloud or hybrid? Or?
Yeah, so it's a kind of hybrid SaaS model.
Right.
We are cloud, but we're working on this hybrid SaaS model. So for the MAM side of things, assets don't need to be stored in the cloud. We're not asking people to,
Right.
to upload everything that they've got all those terabytes of data up into the cloud. It's all local storage, but through private cloud, you can use your browser, you can get into the system, search, and then edit from there. So I think it's quite a flexible model. I think it meets the needs of what broadcasters need and are looking for. So I think it's that hybrid model that I think sort of meets where the industry is looking to be at the moment.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking to a couple more of your colleagues on the booth as well.
Sure.
Martin, I think, is coming up. Give us a quick overview to whet people's appetite of what Martin's going to be talking about.
Yeah, so Martin, I met Martin, when I interviewed for this role, and he's an incredibly smart man. So the thing that I really enjoyed about chatting with him at the time, and any time that we're chatting afterwards, he's co-founder. He comes from VRT, which is the Belgian national broadcaster, as do the other two co-founders. And he has really been so heavily involved in the development of the platform. And he's going to talk about that third part of the pie that I mentioned earlier, which is the delivery workspace.
Right. Okay.
And I think what we are doing in that area is incredibly important. We're really optimistic about it. So I think he's going to give everyone a flavour of how that works and what the benefits are.
Fantastic. So until then, where can people find out more information online?
Yeah, so everything that anybody needs is all on the website, and that is limecraft.com.
Fantastic. Check out the website. If you're at IBC, come to Hall 7 and talk to Stuart and Martin and the team here about all the solutions. And look out for that other video on the channel with Martin talking about the delivery solutions they offer. For everything else we're doing at the show, you can check that out at kitplus.com.